Today we're going to be talking about Cristiano Ronaldo's new private jet. We're going to talk about not only the jet, but also why he bought the jet and how he uses it, because this is a really, really important thing. Ronaldo has had a Gulfstream G200 for a number of years, because when he was in Europe, G200 was a great airplane to move him and his family around Europe, and they would charter it out when they weren't using it. Then he moved to Saudi Arabia. Part of the deal with the Saudi club was to provide him with a BBJ to use, to be able to commute between Europe and the Middle East. So he was using this BBJ. His G200 was still flying around a bit. And then what they did the intelligent thing. Before selling the airplane, they refurbished the interior, did a few upgrades to position the airplane on the market in order to sell it well. So they got good money when they sold the G200, and he went out and bought a Global XRS. Spent about $8 million for the airplane. Now, of course, Ronaldo could have easily gone out there and bought a brand new Global 6500 or even a Global 7500, but he is very wise with his money, and he has surrounded himself with a very good team. I know some members of his team. You know, he looks after his body. As we can see, that at 40 years old, he's still scoring lots of goals. In an interview the other day, they did some analysis on his body, and he actually has a biological age of 28 when he is 40. Great shout out to you, Cristiano, for being a great example of longevity and fitness to us all here. He has this Global XRS, nice airplane. It's got over 6,000 mile range, so it can fly him and his family back and forth between the Middle East and Europe. It charters out nicely as well. But, you know, Ronaldo doesn't just use the airplane for himself. He also has family members that he flies around, and friends, and also people that work for him. You know, he's got a good wealth management team around him, and they're always moving about, and they use the aircraft. This is why he bought the Global XRS, to be able to help his people move about with the private jet, which helps them move about more efficiently. And then when he goes on holiday with his family, he flies exclusively private, which is another great reason to have a private jet, not only for business, but also for leisure. You know, flying around with your family on a private jet, especially when you have small kids, is great. I mean, the hassle of going through airport terminals and what, with delays and losing bags and whatnot, especially when you've got little kids running around, the last thing you want to do is be in a super crowded airport, especially if you're a celebrity like Cristiano Ronaldo. So private is really the way to go for him and his family. I think he's made a good choice of aircraft. The Global XRS has a nice, wide, spacious cabin. They've upgraded a few things on the aircraft. Probably going to keep this another 2 or 3 years and then probably upgrade to something bigger. How long is he going to play football for? We don't know. Now they've told him he has a biological age of 28. He probably will go for another 2 or 3 years. He's doing well. He's using his jet to get him about. When there are breaks, he jumps in the jet and flies to Europe. He's got a number of properties around Europe that he likes to spend time. You know, flying private allows him to do this. And also, you know, now and again, he takes the jet and goes to recharge his batteries for a couple of days somewhere. And he can fly private and control his time because he owns the jet. He controls the jet, the pilots and everything. And that's really, really how he does that. He's used private jets for the last 10, 15 years, really. And he's really used it in a way as part of his peak performance system, which is not only his fitness, how he sleeps, what he eats, how he recovers from training and that, but also how he jets away for a couple of days to recharge his batteries. And he does that on the private jet. The private jet is very much a peak performance tool. I talk about this in my book, The Quantum Economy. I talk about Ronaldo in here, and I also talk about Ronaldo and his performance in my new book, Be Aware But Don't Care. And click on the link below to get yourself a copy of both books. So subscribe to BizJet TV, share this video with your friends and family, and check out this other content we have here, over 1,100 videos here on BizJet TV. That's all from Fabrizio Poli, and I'll see you on the next one.